I had been running for hours, the darkness wrapping around me like an old familiar coat. The cold night air bit at my skin, but I didn't feel it anymore. I never did. I had long since learned to ignore the chill, the hunger, the fatigue. It all became a part of the routine. The adrenaline, however, that was different. It pulsed through my veins, steady and unrelenting, as if it belonged there like it always had. They were running, just like everyone else, unaware of the eyes that followed them. The two men, laughing and talking, were the perfect targets. I had studied them before. The taller one, Mark, I think, was a good runner, but the other, he was slower, unsure. He wasn't the type to notice when someone was following him, too caught up in his own mind to be aware of the world around him. I had learned all I needed to know about them in the last week. Their habits, their routines, they were predictable, and I was patient. I waited, hidden in the shadows as they took their usual path. They jogged along, their voices carrying through the silence of the night. But then, it started. The footsteps. They weren't mine at first. No, they were someone else's, just a regular jogger. But I knew they wouldn't see me. Not yet. Not until I was ready. I let them hear me at the right time. When they picked up the pace, so did I, matching their every step, closing in ever so slightly. But I stayed back, just out of sight. I wanted them to feel it. Feel that strange, inexplicable fear that something was off, that they weren't alone. When they finally stopped, just for a second, and turned to look, I remained still, blending into the darkness. The road ahead was quiet, the perfect time to reveal myself. As they moved forward again, I followed, closer now, stepping lightly so they wouldn't hear me. The closer I got, the more their nerves showed. I could see it in their posture, in the way they suddenly glanced over their shoulders, searching for something they couldn't find. I smiled to myself, knowing the game was almost over. It wasn't about speed anymore. It was about control, and I was in full control. Then, when they were just about to reach the safety of the well-lit road, I made my move. I stepped out into the path, my figure solid and unmistakable. I wanted them to see me, to feel the moment of terror that would freeze them in place. My clothes were ragged, but they were perfect for blending in, just like I was. I stood there for what felt like an eternity, savoring their fear, before letting the laughter slip out. It was a laugh that didn't belong to anyone in the world anymore. A laugh born from years of solitude and hunger, a laugh that echoed in the still night air like a ghostly chant. They didn't understand. They couldn't. I let the laugh trail off, and when I turned to face them, I saw it, their eyes wide with terror. The smaller one, the weaker one, looked ready to collapse. He looked at me as if I was a nightmare made flesh. And that's exactly what I was. I didn't need to chase them. They would do it for me. They ran. They ran faster than I had ever seen anyone run, pushing their bodies to the limit as I followed behind, not in a hurry, but savoring every second. By the time they reached their house, I was already gone, back in the shadows, back to my place in the dark. But I would be there again, always, watching, waiting.